Welcome to Take a Beat special takeover by me, your host for today, Titus. I am one of the ministry coordinators at IES Teens Ministry in IES, and Take a Beat is a IES podcast where we just take a little break and we chat about some things, and then we launch you all back onto the beat. And today, I got my co-host here today,
Hey.
Volta.
Hello.
All right, and we got a special guest here who came all the way from Germany
Yes.
to speak about her experience in Germany. Tirza.
This is why it has to be a takeover because I can't interview myself.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like a mirror. You put a mirror.
Yeah, you put a mirror.
No, or we could do that whole thing where like how like one actor does like two roles.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, that'd be so funny.
Yeah, but then I would sound crazy.
Yes.
Crazier than normal. But hello, everyone.
All right. So, well, you're not staying in Germany, right?
No. I am currently back in Jakarta. And no, my visa was only for 30 days. So it's not like I was going to stay there forever and like outstay my visa.
Yes, that would be
Overstay.
not good.
Yeah.
And so, I guess for context, like I wanted to give you space for that. Like, why were you in Germany? What happened? Like, what caused you to go there?
So one of the things that this conversation started last year. I went to Germany with Volta, with Pastor Anthony, with Posh, for a week visiting one of our mission partners, Andre and Rika. They are missionaries from Indonesia, from GSJA, and they planted a church in Berlin. And so we were there for a week during their anniversary. And so when we came back, one of Pastor Dave's question was, how can we better support them? And maybe even our other missionaries that we support, but how can, other than financially maybe, what are some of the ways that we can support our missionaries? And so one of the things that were discussed was the fact that GSJA missionaries have to come back to Indonesia for fundraising for like a month or so, or maybe 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And so if your ministry is maybe, it looks very different than leaving for 6 weeks is fine. But when you pastor a church and then you leave for 6 weeks, and they don't have any other staff, they have volunteers.
Right.
And so one of the things that we talked about was it would be good for us to provide some kind of support while the missionaries are here, to do some fundraising, to get, refreshed and renewed, get to see family and things like that, for someone to be there and support the ministry there. That's pretty much the idea behind that. Actually, it wasn't even my idea that I go. This is all thanks to Pants. Pants was like, I think it's good for Tirza to go. And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
Sign me up. And I think also because my ministry, most of it is online, it's a bit easier to do even there rather than like for Pants or for Volta or for Posh to just leave an entire ministry for a month. That is a little bit difficult.
Quite. And
you're already thinking about how it would be Posh
yeah.
over there. Yeah.
Like, wow, a whole month without Posh would have been interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of the context. That's why I went to Berlin.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's quite a while. So it's pretty much like you substituted their position, right?
yeah,
The
I'm a substitute pastor.
Is that now on your job title?
I'm a sub.
But the beautiful things is not only to Berlin, we also send our pastor to help the missionaries in Taiwan when they.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think this was the initial conversation, but then since other missionaries are also having to do this, IES also, even before they sent me, they had sent like Pastor Misha,
Right.
Pastor BK,
Mhm.
Pants.
Right.
Just not for this long of a time.
Yeah. It was like 2 weeks in a at a time, right? Or something like
I
that.
think some of them like did 2 weeks, some of them did 1 week. Yeah, I did a whopping 4 weeks.
That's amazing. I mean, that's amazing actually. Before we get into like the meat of the things that I guess we wanted to talk about, I wanted to add some fun ones. Fun
Fun.
ones. What is a meal that you had in Germany, or Belgium or wherever else you went
Yeah.
that was just unforgettable? It was just like that's the one I'm not gonna forget.
Well, there are a couple of unforgettable ones. One was like I did a little like break and I went to Belgium and they did like you know fries. And usually they have fries with like toppings. A lot of the times the topping is like sausage or with Germans they would do like currywurst.
Right.
I was walking down a street and they had signs for Royal Rendang fries. I was like, excuse me?
Say what?
It's not even an Indonesian restaurant. And so I was like, I need to try this. And so I kind of double back and I tried the fries with like Royal Rendang.
It's like Indonesian rendang.
It is. I think it's the flavor is rendang, but like the texture is a little bit different. So it's a little bit creamier.
Interesting.
So it's not an Indonesian restaurant. It's it's a place for fries. Like so they have like poutine, they have different things, and I'm like Royal Rendang. Like okay, so that was interesting, but well, I think we've talked about it maybe last year when we came back from Berlin, but the Berlin local food is doner. It's Turkish. It's not even like German food. But I think for me one of the most memorable food, and this is like they asked me this because I did one-on-ones with people, and I really told the church in Berlin. I said, I would love to spend time with you. Show me your favorite parts of Berlin and show me your share with me your favorite foods of Berlin. And they actually I think it became a competition among them, and actually like, one of them like they asked like so who won? Like, what's your favorite one?
Oh, definitely.
And actually the thing is, and I'll say this again. So I went and like met up with one of the core leaders, Kunal, and he took me to an Indian restaurant. It was good. My favorite,
Ooh.
my highlight of the food was the Indian food.
Okay.
It's funny because the two meals you mentioned are like Asian like
I think
focus.
I ate more Asian food there. Like I ate German food maybe 3 times.
What?
The rest, like eating out, would be Asian.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Kunal won the competition.
Yes. He did.
Congratulations, Kunal.
He didn't get anything, but
It's the
he
pride.
won.
Just the pride.
Yeah, and he also the thing is because Kunal is Indian, and so he made homemade chai. He made
Oh,
me
shoot.
chai.
Oh,
Like
homemade chai
dude.
is so good.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for chai. That's the other thing.
Oh my goodness, I love chai.
Yes.
And my other question that I thought would be funny was, what is the weirdest thing you experienced or had to get used to when you were there? Like,
Well, I had to get. I think. Okay. One is a little bit more serious than the other, but
oh,
but the funny thing was it's around toilets.
yes.
And so the toilets there don't have bidets. And so, like one of the first things that I purchased, like I went there the day I got there, I purchased one of those wet toilet wipes that like
Oh,
yeah, wet wipes
right,
that
right,
is
right.
flushable, and you can just so that's the thing that in my saving grace, but also the fact that they don't have a lot of public toilets, and when they do,
That's
you
hard.
have to pay.
Huh?
Like
Really?
about €1 or maybe like 110.
Dang.
And my, my bladder went through a lot of stress.
That is stressful.
No, because I feel like I need to drink water, and then but in my head I'm like, okay, if you drink, when's the next time you're gonna go to the restroom?
Right.
So yeah, that's all through my entire stay. That's like subconsciously what I'm thinking about. When can I get to the next toilet? But I think the other thing that I needed to get used to, I think the first week or so was difficult because I don't speak German.
Right.
And so when everyone else is speaking a language that you don't understand, first I feel like your brain or my brain was going on overload because it was trying to process a language that it doesn't understand.
Right.
And so it was like I was exhausted. But at the same time, it's also when everyone else is speaking a language you don't understand, you kind of feel a little isolated.
Oh yeah, yeah. I totally understand
So,
what that feels like.
but I think after this, like during the second week, and then after that, I felt a lot better.
Right.
But that first week, it's sort of like a shock to my system.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. But
Yeah.
the toilet thing, I totally understand. The fact that they charge you that much, that's wild.
I understand, like even Indonesian toilets, some of them, you have to pay.
Yeah.
But in malls, and we have a lot of malls, they don't have a lot of malls.
Oh.
And so, yeah, there's some places when you're like, okay, like I think the first thing that I look for in like a general area is like, toilet.
That's wild.
yeah.
That's wild to know. I
Yep.
didn't know that. Wow.
Yep.
But the bidet thing, yeah, I'm sorry for that.
Anyway, did you learn new word?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Last year we went there and we
Umleitung,
learned Umleitung, but
I think I pick up on some words because, like, I think I was talking to someone about this. There are times when people are talking in German, I don't understand a lot of what they're saying, but I pick up on enough words to know context. And I can't remember, but I like, especially when they're talking about food, it's
Easy.
good. But the phrase that I actually learned it from my family. It's kind of ano.
Kind?
Kind of ano.
Kinda
It means
ano.
like no idea.
Okay.
Oh.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
I was talking to Christine and Tante Mariana, and they're like, "Oh, have you picked up on any Deutsch?" I was like, "Keine Ahnung."
And I don't know. Okay.
So yeah,
Okay, that's a word I could use actually.
Yeah.
two words. It's
Oh, yeah,
two words,
that's right,
but yeah, it's a phrase. Yes, I love it. Like I have no idea.
I don't know.
Kind of. Okay.
Okay, so I want to jump in now. We got a little bit of a fresh start here, but I want to jump in.
Can't
So
talk about toilets.
yeah, very fresh. So coming in as a pastor from here,
Yeah.
going into their church and pastoring them, what was that like? What was that experience like for you? Like just being able to just like kind of, I guess, uproot for yourself for 30 days or for 4 weeks, and then just going into a new environment, new people that maybe but it's not somebody you would interact with for the last year.
I know some of them, and
Right.
I actually have interacted with
Oh.
some of them throughout the year.
Okay,
Shout
okay.
out to Brian. I talk to Brian a lot.
That's right. He did visit actually, right?
Yeah, yep. And some of the others also like through Instagram and stuff. So I'm not coming in completely blind. I guess one would say that I built on a relationship that was already there from last year. But I think part of it too is every church is different.
Right.
I was actually just having a conversation with Pastor Dave about this, but every church is different, and so coming in, I was trying to also be very mindful of the culture and the way that Pastor Rika, um, leads the church. I don't want to come in and be like, guys, I'm gonna do it my way.
Right.
And so, and I also realized that there are just a lot of things that it's not like, oh, we're right, or we're wrong and they're right, or like we're right and they're wrong, but like there's a lot of ways of doing church.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, coming in, I wanted, and I needed to be aware and be extra careful to not be like, oh, IES does it this way, you all have to do it this
That's
way.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the things that I was trying to be very mindful of. Um, and and yeah, their church, and also it's just the rhythm is very different. For example, what our weekends are pretty packed, right?
Yeah.
Saturday night, Sunday 9:30, 11:30, 4. They have one service 4 p.m. on Sunday.
Oh wow.
And so I'm like, oh, my Sunday is pretty free. Like I was like, this is new. This is a different rhythm. um, so yeah, and just I think it's a different pace, and so I needed to be more aware of like the pace in which they're doing things, how they approach different things, how they approach life groups and things like that. So yeah, that's just also I think it was very interesting because I was there and I was very present there. Like pastoring there, but I was also doing my
Yes.
digital pastoring
Yeah,
job
yeah, yeah.
at IES. So I was also digitally at IES, virtually.
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of where, like, for that, like, how did you adjust to that? Like, how, like, both as like coming in and doing both jobs, but at the same time, like, both coming in and be like, okay, I'm gonna be fully your pastor for this next 4 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how did you adjust to that and like be like, okay, these are people I don't know. I'm gonna try to get to know them.
Well, I think I don't come in with any agenda. I just wanted to meet people and hear their stories.
Mm.
There. I the first weekend, because I got there on Saturday, I preached on Sunday. When I preached, I told them, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know your story, and I want to get to know your city. And so, like, please, like, take me to your favorite places in Berlin. And then that's what I did. I didn't have any agenda of like, oh, I wanted to do this or I wanted them to get this. I just wanted to know their stories, um, and I wanted to know them. And so that's pretty much just how I approach things. And so, I mean, there are a lot of things that were scheduled, like services
Right.
and women's gathering and core team like trainings and things like that. But for me, the bulk of it is just spending time with people and getting to know their stories. And getting to know a lot of the question that I ask everyone is, how did you get to Berlin? How did you get to that church? And so, yeah, having conversations with people. But I think the other side with my job, I have a great team, and also the fact that a lot of my groups are online, and the things that I do is online. I'm able to do that. I think the thing that was very difficult for me was staff meetings
Oh yes.
on Tuesdays
5
at
a.m.
10:30. That means 5:30 in the morning, my time. People always say, "Oh, you look like you just rolled out of bed." I was like, "I did just roll out of bed." So yeah.
Yeah. But maybe this is like a more serious question
Keep
from
going,
me.
Yeah.
Continue for your answer from your answer. Like, how do you manage to rest and take a break?
Oh, that's a good one.
Take a break, not take a beat. Take a beat is this program, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I take a break?
Yeah.
Break so I don't take a beating.
Yeah.
So I still took Mondays off.
Mm.
From both things. Like I didn't schedule the meetings on Mondays. Mondays, like I do sightseeing, go to museums, rest. So yeah, I took Mondays off. But then there was, I think the third week, I actually took. I didn't really tell anyone there, and only told a handful of people that I took like 3 days in a row, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I went to Brussels. I met with some people and did some things there, but I really love trains. So I took the sleeper train from
Oh,
Berlin
fun.
to Brussels.
Fun.
Yeah, was in a compartment like Harry Potter's train.
Ah,
Yeah, so I took the train over there, and just 3 days of being by myself and meeting with some people just for me. It's not anything like I wasn't doing ministry there, and so not just it's intentionally
Yes.
taking a break. Yes.
That's good.
That's good. I, I think one of the things I've been thinking about as well is kind of like because I think the approach that you had for going to the church there was quite a lot of the one-on-ones, getting to know people and really getting to know the congregation there, which is I think really important especially as somebody who's coming in for the for some of them maybe the first time, and for some of them it's like this is like somebody who's just substituting for a bit.
Yeah.
But like to be able to get to know them, um like what are some of the things that you found were, I think in my mind, like, were there any similarities in some of their struggles that you would see here in Jakarta or see in your online sphere? Like some of the struggles that maybe they go through or we go through that are kind of similar, and that how like we as a community or as a body would actually experience all of this together. Where it's like, oh yeah, they're in Germany, so they're different people, but like no, actually like we might actually be facing similar things that we see there and see here.
I think so. The church in Berlin, Lighthouse Berlin. It's so funny because our missions month theme is like lighthouse, and so I went from Lighthouse Berlin to like IES doing a lot of lighthouses. I think the big because that church, a lot of them are young people.
Right.
There were a couple of like older people, and then there's like the bulk of the congregation are in their 20s, and so I think the the challenges of the people in the church are very similar in terms of like for people in their 20s, young adults, is you know work, direction, what's next. Okay, I'm done with my undergrad, should I do a master's, or done with my master's, should I go home or should I get a job. So there's that. So like asking for direction from the Lord, like what's next. And also I think one of the big conversations is like romantic relationships, and like 'cause how do you connect with someone and find someone who loves Jesus,
Right.
in a city that is, like, if we're being very honest, very secular.
Right.
And so I think that's a lot of the conversations. And so we yeah, a lot, especially with the girls. There was one time when we actually did like a girls' day out. We just did shopping together. Yeah, that's my
Wow,
ministry, going
interesting.
shopping together.
That's
Uh,
good.
and a lot of it we talked about guys and like what kind of guys are like do we like are we looking for, like what kind of relationships, things like that. So I think that's some of the challenge as well. And I know that I mean, I know Pastor Anthony works a lot more with young adults um, here in IES, but that's also a lot of the same kind of struggles, right? But I think one of the things that I realized too is that just Berlin in general, um, I didn't realize this until I have moved to a different city. That okay,
Sorry.
so you
Yes.
no, I realized that Berlin has that just this like the spiritual climate is just a little bit different.
Oh.
And nothing like it's not bad, but I think there are a lot of um like I think the spiritual term is like things that bind people, like addictions.
Oh, I see.
Like I talked to a couple of people who had a lot of problems with like, drug addiction,
Wow.
and then having to go through recovery, and then even just the party culture there's big, um, and then that kind of binds, and so a lot of the times just to borrow the team's theme for this year, but to be set apart,
Right.
it's very difficult.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And so I think for the church to be set apart is very difficult. Because even in the church, maybe even in terms of relationships, some people are like, oh, like, why not sleep around and just, um, that idea of like lifestyle.
Mm.
And so for me, I feel like a lot of it ends up becoming some kind of thing that binds people.
Mm.
And so, and I'm not saying that other cities don't
Yeah.
have that problem, but I feel like that's the big like thing
Yeah.
of Berlin.
Mm.
And then I went to a different city. I was like, oh, it's a different kind of climate. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then based on your observation like that, if you could go back to Berlin maybe
Yeah.
next month,
Next
Oh,
one.
maybe
That's really fast.
or next year.
Sorry, my bladder needs a break from Berlin.
Yeah, but Pippi, what will you do? I mean, what will you do differently if you
Ooh, that's a
could,
good question.
go back to that?
I think one of the things that I realized maybe after I got there is how much more prayed up I needed to be.
Wow.
Because I think just not that I didn't pray, but I felt like just even having times of and I really love the fact that I was constantly updating the missions committee and Pastor Dave and different people, actually both of you are on,
Yes.
are on my like update list. But having people who are praying for me that really made a difference. But I think if I had known a lot of the challenges of the city and the people there, I think even before that, it would have been a lot of like um, like intense like a prayer warrior thing going on because it's just I think like my heart breaks for the city and a lot of the challenges that even people encounter there. And so like even for the church, like I'm like, oh, like to be so prayed up about like having people there and for
Right.
them to to be able to invite people to the church and all of that. Yeah.
Uh, Sadly, we are gonna have to wrap up soon, but I have one more question that uh, I think from this experience and from this trip, what is something that I guess you can encourage all of those who are listening, or even us, like as a church, what can we do to maybe not just for the people in the church in Berlin or the people that you've met there, but I think as a whole, like what can we do? What have you learned from that experience that we can do or implement more for reaching out to others? Because this is part of missions, right? And so
Yeah.
how what can we do? What are something new that or something from that experience was like, okay, this is
Yeah,
what.
some people are asking like, what is what do you do missions? I was like, well, first of all, I mean, I think there's a couple of layers to it. Like,
Yeah.
it is missions because, like I see myself as what I do is supporting the people, the missionaries. That is part of the missionary support. I feel like, but also just having the opportunities to get to know people and talk to people and um, minister to people. I think wherever it is, that is important.
Mm,
And I mean, a lot of the times we look at um, missions or even ministry as a program. Oh, I'll um, get involved in this program or that program, but a lot of it is really just about people.
right.
And so I think in terms of how people can be involved is start start asking God, okay, open my eyes, God. Like who is it around me that I can reach out to? And maybe it's just asking someone, hey, like how's it going? Like what's been going on? And if they're opening up to us and being there and even like praying for them and being present in their lives, asking them their stories. Um, because a lot of the times we go through our lives and we have like our like earphones in and here just call you out there. Yeah, no, because even for me, and when I was going through the whole like, oh, there's a language, I feel isolated
Right,
thing. That's
right.
actually what I did. I would go whenever I would go places on the S-Bahn or the U-Bahn, the MRT commuter train, I would put in my earphones and listen to music so that like I don't have to feel the pressure to like interact with people. But sometimes we do that in our daily life, and not maybe physically, but in just mentally.
Right.
That
Right.
we're so involved in our own thing that we don't see, oh, like even like being able to say hi to someone and strike up a conversation with him, and even asking the Holy Spirit, like, okay, who can I talk to today?
Right.
Like, who do you want me to reach out to? Who do you want me to text today? And like check up on. I think just being willing to do that, and understand that a lot of even talking about Jesus starts with relationships.
Yeah.
And even just being willing to stop and have a random conversation with someone. Yeah.
Uh,
So powerful.
it is, and I totally agree. And I think being able to minister together with the Spirit and being in tune with that or in step with Him is so important when we try to figure out who it is that we're gonna go to next. And it can be like somebody who's close to you already, or even within your vicinity. It doesn't have to be like a
Yeah.
stranger or somewhere in Germany.
Yeah, you don't have to be called to go to Berlin before its mission. Although I do want to give you a shout out.
Oh,
Not, yeah, because
me?
teens. I used your
Oh, that's right.
because I was like, okay, 4 weeks of preaching. So I went to Berlin and then I went to Frankfurt, but so Frankfurt was a different like theme, topic. Went to a couple of international churches there, but the 4 weeks in Berlin, actually plus the women's gathering, I made an entire series out of it, and the series was heartstrings. It's actually
Yeah.
something you did for
Yes.
teens, but it's the different content. But I
Yeah.
used their graphics.
That's good.
Shout
I
out.
asked Titus. I was like, Titus, can I ask you guys for the graphics? Can I use it? So I did.
Yeah, and shout out to one of the teens because the teen was the
Yeah,
one who made
so-
that. So really awesome.
Who was it?
Elaine. Her name is
Elaine.
Elaine.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Elaine. I really appreciate it. It went beyond teens and went all the way to Berlin.
That's good.
Five sermon worth of a heartstrings series.
So good.
It's not Pastor Tirza also, but the teens involved
Exactly.
with this
Yeah.
ministry.
So I just wanted to share that's. I feel like that's also a team effort because a lot of the times
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh yeah, PT is the one who went there," but I was like, I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of aspects that
Different,
is a part of IES
Absolutely.
that came with
That's
me.
good.
Yeah. And it reminded me that I probably want to tell her that actually.
Yeah.
So I'll probably let her know.
Elaine. Thank you.
But all right, we're gonna wrap up. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your story, Tirza. Thank you for being here, Volta.
Yes.
And and so this is the episode of Take a Beat. See you next time. What's the phrase again?
Don't miss a beat.
Don't miss a beat. That's the phrase.